Good morning, everybody. This is Carol Wisely coming to you with Radio Free Decipher from sunny Norfolk on this chilly Friday morning. We've been off the air for a couple of weeks. I was away last week getting my eyesight sharpened up, so here I am, able to see to the end of the room for the first time. It's great. We're going to be talking to you today about a few things that are going on here. We still don't have release dates on Blaze of Glory and Endor, our next products, and people are wondering why. What's going on at Decipher? Why is there no news? Well, I think if you realize that it's only 60 days until Star Wars Episode 1 premieres in the movie houses, I think you've probably guessed what's going on at Decipher. We've all been very busy with development of the Young Jedi collectible card game. I'm pleased to say that development of that is well on track. It's looking stunning. It's in final approvals and should be being released at the beginning of May. Our intention is to have it at the Star Wars Celebration in Denver for demoing, and hopefully it'll even be on sale there. If we make that date, it'll be great. It's a wonderful product. I've had the privilege to see a lot of the cards. I've been part of the play testing, and although I can't tell you any more at the moment, I can tell you that not only is it a fast, dynamic, easy-to-learn game, but it's also got some depth of strategy that keeps you wanting to come back for more. It's become a very popular game to play around here. So we're very excited about Young Jedi. We think you'll be very excited when it gets out there. And it's the first new collectible card game or customizable card game that we've released since the end of 1995. So we're excited. Of course, part of the PD team is continuing to work on the classic Star Wars game, which will go from strength to strength this year. Endor is pretty much put to bed, but I guess you're all realizing that it's not going to be released in March. And I'm beginning to suspect that May is a more reasonable date to look for that product. So hang on in there, and I know you'll enjoy it. I've been waiting for this particular expansion ever since the premiere of Star Wars, since Ewoks are a favorite character of mine, and I'm looking forward to building some Ewok decks. The other thing we've been working on here in the web group at Decipher this last week is getting all the World Championship area ready, and that should be published today. So those of you who are intending to host a qualifying event, the so-called regional preliminaries, those can start on April 1st. There'll be a form on the website that you can enter the details of the event you want to go to, and that'll be automatically posted to a special page and also entered into the tournament locator so that all the players can find your event. For those of you wanting to play in one of these regional preliminaries, go along to that area of the site and you'll see those begin to fill up. Just a reminder, there are two kinds of regional preliminaries, OTSD and constructed deck, and depending on the size of the tournament, either 2 or 4 people advance from that Phase 1 event forward to a regional championship. We've just about got the places that the regional championships are going to be held put together, and that list will be released also. So go to the website and read that area and see how it goes. The other thing I wanted to talk about on the World Championship is the finals. We don't have all the details yet, but we've announced already that this year both the World Championship for Star Wars and the World Championship for Star Trek will be held the same weekend. So I'm afraid it's unfortunate for all of those of you who play both games, because you're definitely not going to be able to be a finalist in both. We're also going to extend the length of that event. We're going to make it a 3-day event, probably starting on a Thursday evening and finishing on the Sunday, with the actual grand final of the championships being held on the Saturday, so that we don't have to rush people out to catch their flights home. There'll be lots of other events going on this year. It's going to be a totally different kind of weekend. Not just the finals and the spectators, but lots of other tournaments and competitions going on that are open, some of which we'll have qualifiers for. So you can think of it just like a Decipher convention. It's probably going to be called DecipherCon. It's going to be held in Norfolk or Virginia Beach in early November. You need to mark your calendars for the weekend. I think it's the 12th and 13th. And we're going to be hosting a convention that as many of you who can get up to the East Coast at that time can come to, and there'll be plenty to do. So look forward to that. Put that date in your calendar and it'll be great. Okay, well now I've found Jonathan Quesenberry, former Red Leader, honorary Red Leader, and media and press relations guy now in the marketing department here, and I've just caught him on the way back from the coffee house, and I want to talk to him about a new tournament format that we're going to be announcing hopefully in the next week, Jonathan?
Yeah, I hope so. Hope early next week we'll be able to release it.
This is a fun tournament format that sprung up recently amongst the guys here, and we enjoyed it so much that we decided we'd push it out there to the general playing community and let them play around with it. We'll sanction it, and I'm just going to hand over to Jonathan to tell us about it. I hear it's called EPP Overdrive, Jonathan.
That's exactly right. Basically, it came out of sitting in the office one day amidst 100 other things doing, and wanted to come up with a quick, new, more dynamic way to run a tournament that maybe took half as much time as a normal 4-hour tournament did. Basically, it relies upon the EPP characters in their package and their sealed package, and creates sort of a sealed deck environment which the players can use an EPP character out of the sealed package in the 4 packs, swap out cards with an opponent, and play in the neighborhood of 4 or 5 games within an hour and a half.
How did they manage to get through that many games in an hour and a half?
Well, the key is, of course, then the time issue. Rather than have hour-long games or people strategize and things of that nature, basically the concept is you're building a 30-card deck out of the 60 cards that you have with the cards that you've swapped out with your opponent, and you're playing 10-minute games. And basically it's a game that sort of returns everything back to the way it used to be, where you're frantically trying to play your game, and if you think too long, you're going to get timed. So it's all about playing as fast as you can, and basically it boils down to a lot of fun combat, a lot of interaction between characters, and it's just a blast because you make mistakes, and those mistakes are okay. Because
so it's strictly timed?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be something that people will have 10 minutes to play the game, and if it becomes timed, basically they won't obviously get the points that they normally would.
So what happens at the end of the game if players are still playing?
Well, they'll stop, and we're going through a number of different concepts on the rulings and how to do some of the timing, scoring, and things of that nature. We'd like to try and get it out to some people for testing this weekend, and I'd like to see feedback by that early next week, and I'd love to see it getting out on the web as far as people looking at the format and seeing what it's all about. It's really exciting. We played it here at work early this week, and there was about 6 or 8 of us, and it was a blast because it's just fun, it's fast, it's dynamic. You're getting up every 10 minutes, and you're playing someone else, and it just sort of returns the tournament scene back to this live action fun thing.
So it's like speed chess.
That's exactly right. It's speed Star Wars. That's exactly right. And since you're using an EPP, everybody's got a main character. Typically, we're going to push the Vaders and the Lukes because it's an even matchup, and a lot of cards are referenced by those characters within the premier packs that are in the EPP. But really, any light and dark side EPP will work. But if you've got the Vaders and the Lukes, that's going to make just for a more even playing environment.
Great. Well, it sounds fun, and you get it tested this weekend, and we'll get it out on the web next week.
Well, thanks.
Thanks, Jonathan.
All right.
Now I'm going to talk with Tim Ellington, who I've been searching for all morning, and we've managed to snare him and drag him down to the web floor. Tim, of course, is a member of PD, who've recently been elevated to the top floor of the building. I'm sure there's some significance in that, Tim.
Well, I'd like to think it is anyway, but I don't know. It seems a little more lonely up there.
You used to be in the basement, yeah?
Yeah, we used to have all of our group together in one big room, so whenever we had a question or a problem, we could just yell at somebody. And now we're kind of segmented, so we have to yell louder.
Well, I guess that's to do with the secrecy surrounding the development of our Episode 1 product.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, well, we haven't got too long to go. Do you know how many days till the movie releases?
I don't know the day count, but I know it's May 19th.
It's 60 days.
60 days, exactly.
That's what I heard.
I'll have to start marking them off on my calendar.
I know, I've already started doing that. We're getting excited here. Okay, Tim, well, I dragged you down here because I've talked a little bit about Star Wars, I've talked a little bit about the World Championships and told them how the Young Jedi development was going, told them how Endor was going, and now I want to ask you some questions about Blaze of Glory because
Sure.
I don't want to forget our wonderful, faithful Star Trek fans out there.
No, we don't want to do that.
Well, I know Tim's one of those ardent Star Trek fans. I know you. Do you ever work on Star Wars?
Occasionally, I'll help them play test a little bit, or do this and that, but primarily I work just on Star Trek, so it's, kind of my favorite thing.
It's your baby.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's a baby that's shared, but I know at the moment, since Bill's been spending some of his time on other projects, you've been pretty much devoted to Blaze of Glory.
Yeah, we're trying to get it wrapped up. We've got some other projects, obviously, that we're working on. So, once we get everything set with those, and hopefully we'll have some products coming out, soon and over the course of the summer.
Good. Well, I don't think I can ask you about the other projects yet.
Not quite.
No, I've not been green lighted on that one, but I've been telling people about Blaze of Glory for a while. So how's it coming together?
I think it's coming together real well. The development has been a little bit different. This is the first time since I've been here that we haven't had a new affiliation introduced in an expansion set. So having a little bit more flexibility is important. We're being able to include lots of cards from all the different properties, and so that's kind of neat to work on. And then, of course, the new battle side deck for ship battle, I think, is going to be one of the primary elements of the set, and it's something I'm excited about. That's
great. Of course, once upon a time, every expansion was like following the previous affiliations, but I guess you're right. We introduced, in Deep Space Nine, we introduced Bajorans and
Cardassians, and before that, First Contact had the Borg, and Dominion had Dominion.
Wow. And the next expansion's probably going to introduce Ferengi?
It's a good possibility that could happen. The next full expansion, probably.
Yeah. Rules of acquisition. I'll ask you something about that later, but let's
Okay.
get back to Blaze of Glory. Now, I've seen the ad that we've done, and it looks fairly warlike and very Klingon. Would you say the Klingon dominate this expansion?
I wouldn't say that they dominate, but we have made a conscious effort to try to pay attention to what we consider the warring affiliations, the warring races in the storyline, the Klingons, the Romulans, and the Dominion. As we have been introducing the new affiliations over the last year and a half, 18 months, we haven't been able to pay as much attention to some of the Klingon and Romulan storylines as we have with Federation was so integral with Deep Space Nine that we really have had to keep them up to pace. So you'll see a lot more Klingons and Romulans than you're used to seeing in some of the more recent expansion sets.
Now, what about are there any Federation cards in there?
Well, sure. We at this point we always try to put something in for each of the affiliations, so there's always some interest, regardless of your deck building archetype. There will be some, but there are many more Romulans and Klingons and some more Dominion people than you'll find in some of the other affiliations, probably.
Now, would you say this is the most new Romulan stuff we've done ever since the premiere?
Yes.
By a long way?
Well, it's hard to gauge because the expansion set sizes are a little different now, with the number of cards. So I don't know that I'd put a quantity on it, but I think that it's a significant difference. I think people who play Romulan and Klingon will notice a lot more green and red cards and cards that play along with Klingon and Romulan deck archetypes in the interrupts and events and objectives.
Well, I'm trying to get as much out of him as I can. I'm sure all you listeners can tell this, and he's being very cagey, but have you got I know. Have you got a favorite card in Blaze of Glory yet?
I don't think so. This set, I think, has things that are spread out a little bit more, so there's not any one particular, significant gameplay card that I can think of right offhand. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the battle side deck does. It will change a lot of deck building strategies because you'll be able to do so much more with interaction with your opponent than just going and shooting at a ship and damaging it. And I think that's going to be a lot of interesting gameplay, and I think it's going to really bring things in storyline and for good gameplay.
Great. Well, we're really excited about it. Well, I'm now guessing May for a release date for that. Do you think I'm close?
I really can't say, and not because I can't say, but because we have so many things in the hopper right now. Resources are getting spread out pretty well, as you know. So a lot of it just depends on internal scheduling and what we can set up with printers and stuff. So it shouldn't be very long, but any particular month right now would be kind of stabbing out, I think.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I get the feeling that It's like a dam at the moment. We do have so much in development that's like this huge lake behind the dam, and then a number of events are going to happen that suddenly release that dam, and there's going to be a rush of products, I know. So
yeah, we've got Blaze of Glory, and we have some other things that we're working on concurrently with that. So I think that people who place track will see a lot of stuff out starting probably in late April, early May.
Great.
And, going throughout, I hope, through the end of the year.
And rules of acquisition? We're going to see it this year?
There's a very, very good chance that you will.
Good. Before Voyager?
Probably. But again, things change depending on our internal schedule. So, don't mortgage the house on that. But I'd say you're probably going to see Ferengi before you'll see things in the Delta Quadrant.
Now, I may have asked you this on a previous interview, but the recent 2-hour Voyager show that was on, what was it called? The special.
Oh, gosh.
The one that was Jerry Ryan's, yeah.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on it now.
That's because you're on the mic. Don't worry about
that. I can't think of the name, but I definitely know which one you're talking about.
Have you started work on any of the cards of that? Do you think we'll see any of the cards of that, or are you going to be? Will that have to wait until Voyager's well established?
I don't think that we'll have to wait for a full Voyager expansion to do that, because it was so much of the Borg storyline, and we already have Borg supporting material in the game. Where it would come in, and would it come in separately or with something else, we just don't know yet. But I don't think we'll have to wait until we do a lot of Voyager stuff to see that.
Good, good. Okay, well, thanks, Tim, and I'll let you get back to whatever it is you're doing today. I'm pretty sure that since Young Jedi is wrapping up over the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure even you've been drawn into that one.
Just a little.
Okay, well, let me ask you a final question. Have you played Young Jedi?
Yes, I have.
And do you enjoy it?
I love it.
Good. Well, I know he's paid to say that, folks, but believe you me, I think he's telling the truth.
And this is coming from the track guy. I think it's a really good game. I think people are going to like it a lot.
Good. Well, thanks, Tim.
Okay, thanks, Carol.